Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is your very mean, hateful, controversial host, JD. I hope you're all doing well and you've all had a great start to your weekend. Now, in this episode today, man, I got a treat for you because we're not only going to be talking about one story, not two, not three, but 4 stories that I've seen that I want to cover, and I can guarantee you for 90% of this video, you're going to be face palming, so don't say I don't do anything for you, but stick around for all 4 stories because you are not going to believe what is going on. Firstly, we'll be starting off with a high school in Riverside, California refusing to compete in a volleyball match due to a male athlete being on the opposing team. Then we'll be moving on to a man who was fired from his job in Australia for using, and get this, the wrong pronouns. You know, we haven't even started the video properly, and I'm already facepalming. But the insanity, ladies and gentlemen, it just continues, because our third story then involves a council in the UK that has told staff not to call married couples husband and wife. Oh my gosh, in case it causes offense. And then finally, a story that I'm a little bit late to, but I want to briefly cover nonetheless, and once again is coming from the UK, because we now have undercover officers posing as joggers to catch catcallers. What the actual F is going on, man? Now, before we get into this, ladies and gentlemen, if you could, as always, make sure to leave a like rating, as it really helps out the video. You've heard me say recently, all your support on every single video really helps it get pushed out in the algorithm, which means, you know, more people see it, so we get more subscribers, and we are getting closer and closer to 100k, man. I cannot thank you guys enough. So every like, every comment, every share really does mean the world. If you are new and you have stumbled across this video, you know what I'm going to ask for. Hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. But without further ado, let's get into it.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Well, at least somebody sees the funny side. But let's start off this video with some good news. I would say now women's sports. We all know the issue it's been facing over the years with men identifying as women, and then that being a justification for them to go ahead and compete against women. We all know it's not. It's complete insanity. And a trans athlete who goes by the name of AB Hernandez, somebody who previously made the headlines this year for absolutely destroying the competition in girls track events, and that is a complete understatement because he won 2 state titles in California. How stunning, how brave. But he has also been competing in girls volleyball, and one school out there simply said, enough is enough. Outkick, go on to report. Opposing team forfeits out of safety concerns from AB Hernandez. Hernandez played on the Jurupa Valley girls volleyball team last season, unsurprisingly helping lead the team to an undefeated league season and eventual championship. But of course, you know, the woke leftist liberals will always say, and they'll look you in the eyes and say this, there's no biological advantage. It's fair for these athletes to be competing in women's sports. Right, the Riverside Poly High School girls volleyball team posted a statement on Instagram Friday afternoon saying that it would forfeit its match against Jurupa Valley. While not directly mentioning Hernandez or a specific concern, the post did make reference to wanting a safe, positive environment for its student athletes. Riverside Poly High School girls volleyball team will not take the court for tonight's scheduled game against Jurupa Valley High School, the post says. The match will be recorded as a forfeit in non-league standings. We understand this is disappointing for our athletes, families, and supporters, and we appreciate the community's understanding. Well, there's one woke community out there that might not understand this because they don't have common sense, but it goes on to say we remain committed to providing a safe, positive environment for all our student athletes throughout the season. So once again, because boys are still being allowed to compete in girls sports, let's give a round of applause to California for defying Trump's executive order. I bet you're very proud of yourself, but because of this, girls are now forfeiting matches because they want a safe, positive environment, and that right shouldn't be taken away from them because some dude out there wants people to cater to his feelings. You know, we've seen girls in the past get injured in volleyball. For example, a lot of you will know about the Peyton McNabb story where she was left partially paralyzed after getting hit on the head by the ball from a trans athlete. So the fact that this is still going on is absolutely crazy. I mean, well done to these girls for forfeiting. They shouldn't have to, but here we are. I mean, it's still considered a brave thing, even in 2025, because who knows? They could face consequences. But these girls said, we're not going to do this. We're not going to compete against a team that is cheating. And with that, put our safety on the line. So that's always got to be applauded. Maybe, just maybe, one day, California will stop this madness. But I think pigs have a higher chance of flying. That's how crazy things are out there. Everybody avoid that place at all costs. Leave your thoughts down below, ladies and gentlemen, on this very first story. What are your thoughts on this high school refusing to compete? I'd like to know. On to the next one, and this is where it goes downhill very fast. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, when I first read this headline, I couldn't believe what I was reading. I had to rub my eyes. You know, I thought, wait, am I in a dream? Am I in a nightmare? But nope, it is very real. So pronouns, those things that are very important to a certain group of people, very intelligent group of people. Some may say they care about them more than breathing oxygen. Not even joking. But a dude was fired out in Australia for using the wrong pronouns and then refusing to apologize. The Daily Mail kindly report. Perth worker fired after calling non-binary colleague he instead of they and refusing to give a written apology. A written apology. Did it hurt this person's feelings that much? You have got to be taking the man. A written apology. The incident unfolded during a leadership training course in February when the older worker introduced his younger colleague to the room as he. Another staff member immediately corrected him. The colleague, a biological male who identifies as neither male or female, had previously stated their preferences to be called they and wore a pronoun badge to avoid confusion. Hey look man, I'm just gonna say this now. If you wear a pronoun badge, and I mean it when I say this, you're a The man, 63, apologized on the spot and the pair appeared to get along for the remainder of the day, even partnering in roleplay exercises, but his manager informed him a formal complaint had been lodged and that he would need to issue a written apology. So apologizing on the spot wasn't enough for this non-binary colleague. I think it says more about the colleague than the person who did the misgendering. At a Fair Work Commission hearing, he argued that if one person had the arbitrary right to use a particular pronoun, then another person had the right not to. The refusal sparked a backlash from younger co-workers, of course, most of whom sided with the non-binary colleague. Well done to you. In March, the company, which had no formal pronoun policy, wait, those things actually exist, what? But they launched an investigation and terminated his employment. The man challenged his dismissal, initially planning to take the case to a federal court, but the matter was moved into a confidential FWC conciliation where he was warned that he risked violent social backlash if it went to open court. He ultimately reached a confidential settlement with his former employer. Man, oh man. Welcome, my friends, to 2025, where if somebody dare use the wrong pronouns and doesn't give a written apology, they can get fired from their job. Well, in Australia. Anyway, he did the right thing. Right, because for me personally, there is no way in this reality or any other, if I misgender somebody, firstly, you're getting an apology out of me, and secondly, a written apology of all things. I don't give an F, man. If I misgender you, that's on you, not me. Grow up. I just don't understand how these people haven't realized that you cannot force people to use the right pronouns just so your delusions are catered to. The entitlement is on another level. It really is. And I also think to myself, this is how comfortable life has become. Seriously. Because this is all people have to worry about now. Oh, my pronouns, how dare you use the wrong pronouns? Do you think people in war zones or poor countries are sat around thinking, yeah, you know what, how dare you use the wrong pronoun for me? No, of course not. I tell you, people in this modern, comfortable society have just been wrapped up in cotton wool for so long, and their mental health issues have been celebrated. You know, we live in a time where if somebody comes out as non-binary, what do people do? Instead of doing the right thing and thinking, wait, hold on, something's not right here, and questioning it, people around them, they go, oh, whoa, oh, that's you. I'm just glad he reached a settlement with his employer, but Australia, mate, you need to get a grip, seriously. But now, moving on from one side of the world to the other, and it doesn't get any better, we're going to be talking about stuff going on in the UK because there seems to be a lot of madness spreading over here. And let's start off with this first story involving a council, as I said at the beginning, that is now telling its staff not to call married couples husband or wife because it might upset somebody. What? But the Sun report, new woke madness as council tells staff not to call married couples husband and wife in case it causes offence. I don't know what is left in this world that doesn't cause offence, if I'm going to be honest. It seems like every single thing has somebody out there crying. But a 45-page booklet gives vocabulary tips to taxpayer-funded civil servants in the Royal Borough of Greenwich in southeast London. It is the latest balmy guide obtained by The Sun using freedom of information laws. It includes a warning that traditional terms for a married couple and should be replaced with gender-neutral ones. Staff running events are also warned against welcoming ladies and gentlemen. Well, for as long as I live and this channel exists, I'm going to continue to use ladies and gentlemen. We're never, ever applying that nonsense here. I'll tell you that for a fact. Imagine working for a company, right, and you turn up on a Monday morning, and first thing, your bosses say, you know what, guys, we've got some guidelines now. You're not going to call married couples husband and wives because we've learned it could offend people. Mate, I'm walking out the door straight away. I'm telling you, I'm quitting. These people have lost the plot. They really have. Imagine using your time to focus on this, telling people not to use the words husband and wife because it might offend a small group of people out there who have decided to one day, because, I don't know, the wind blew a different direction, identify as something else, which doesn't exist. But what is going on? I just ask, God, please, get me off this planet. I'm begging you. But now it's time for our final story, and get ready for this one, man. Look, I think we all understand in our modern world, we need all the resources we can get to tackle crime. Right? We can't be wasting time. We can't be wasting people in certain areas. We need all police officers tackling the real stuff going on, the real terrible crimes, right? So in Surrey, they have had the bright idea to do the following. As the Telegraph go on to report, undercover officers pose as joggers to catch catcallers. Surrey police sent out 2 undercover officers out jogging at rush hour to show the level of catcalling female joggers receive. A spokesman for the force said, "These behaviours may not be criminal offences in themselves, but they need to be addressed. Get a grip." However, the operation was criticised by the Free Speech Union, which said it amounted to bizarre social psychology experiments, adding that officers should focus on enforcing existing laws.
For people to recognise that it's not right, it's not just a small act, it's a thing that can make someone feel really quite uncomfortable. So I think it's important Surrey Police are taking it so serious. It's one of our force priorities, and for me that makes me feel proud to work for Surrey Police, because for me it's such a personal experience, and I know for a lot of other, if not all other women who experience it. So I feel empowered to be a part of such an operation.
These women aren't friends out for a run. They're actually undercover police officers taking to the streets in Surrey as part of a new operation trying to stop people catcalling and harassing female runners.
We get honked at, the staring, the hanging out of the window just to look at us, and it's so prevalent.
And police teams are ready to intervene the moment the officers are beeped at, followed or shouted at, pulling people over.
Those kind of behaviours may not be criminal offences in themselves, but they still need to be addressed.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I know there'll be some feminists out there defending this. No, we need to tackle catcalling. Get a grip. Alright, they're using this energy on this, where they could be tackling serious things going on out there. They put more energy into this. They put PR into this, whilst they could have been doing it for something else, something people actually care about. And it's funny, because I can guarantee you, the feminists, the people out there who are defending this, no, of course we need to address catcalling. We need to call these people out. We need to show them that you cannot do this, and they could face consequences if they carry on. Those very same people are the ones that are always uploading half-naked pictures of themselves onto Instagram, begging for likes, attention. You check out their comment section, and there are dudes in there saying, "Oh wow, you look so beautiful," and saying worse things than catcalling. Kindly off. Leave your thoughts down below, ladies and gentlemen, about all these stories. What are your thoughts on every single one? Which one did you think was the most insane? I'd like to know. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. Share this video, follow my socials down below in the description. But until next time, it has been your host JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace. Catcalling, seriously. If you needed any more proof that a country has its priorities upside down, this is it.